everybody. This is Jennifer Way, Intuitive Consultant. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's video is going to be about fear. Fear affects us in so many ways. One of the ways that I want to discuss how fear can affect us today is in terms of stress. So we think of stress as something that we've heard the doctors say. We've heard people talk about stress and in certain contexts, stress in terms of work, stress in terms of just family pressures, things, putting food on the table, very basic things that we are stressed out by. We are all also kept in a state of stress that feels like it was very deliberate in how our society has formed. Stress takes us out of our bodies. One of the things that it does is it takes our energetic body. It also takes our focus outside of ourselves. Anxiety and worry do this as well. Anxiety, what it does is it takes these focal points, this energy, and it takes it out of your body and it projects it a little bit forward. So it's almost like your energetic body leans in just a little bit while your physical body is here. Now, when this happens, they're not connected, and it's going to make this weak, and this won't be as powerful either. So as you lean into stress or anxiety or worry, you're projecting yourself into a future that is not in existence. When something is not in the now, it takes us out of our grounding, it takes us out of ourselves, so it makes us weaker. The problem with fear is fear takes us away from love and it pulls us towards more things that scare us. As we live in a heightened state of fear, we will be attracting everything that scares us. This goes back to the law of attraction, like attracts like. So if you are resonating in a frequency of fear, regardless of how rational that fear might be, when you vibrate in that frequency, you are going to attract more situations and things that bring this feeling out. Fear is a big part of power and control. Fear is a big part of what the world's powerful leaders do to keep us in check. You have the fear of God in one of our major religions. This fear keeps us in a state of captivity. This fear paralyzes us. This fear inhibits our growth. The polar opposite of fear is love. That is where we want our vibration to be, where we want it to exist. When you're vibrating in a state of love, it is the polar opposite of fear. When you're stressed, you are actually in a state of fear. Let's say you're stressed about work. The core belief that if you peel back the layers of exactly what is stressing you out at work, there's a fear. There's a fear that you won't be successful. There's a fear that you're going to fail at what particular job you're doing. There's a fear that you won't get a raise. There's a fear that something will happen to your job. Fear, I will argue, is at the base of most, if not all, of our stress. Fear takes the breath out of you. Anxiety and worry takes the breath out of you because, again, you're projecting yourself forward and you're not breathing. Next time you find yourself in a stressful state, whether it's an extreme emotion or some kind of anxiety or panic, pay attention to how you're breathing. If you have the wherewithal to really catch yourself in the moment, pay attention to how you're breathing. Breath is life. Breath keeps us in our bodies and it grounds us. If we are not breathing, or if we're breathing shallowly, I'm actually breathing shallow right now. Our body needs oxygen. Our body needs breath. We're depriving it of these things when we exist in a state of stress brought on by fear. There are so many things to be scared of. There's so many things to be afraid of, but there's so many things out of our control. We can do what we can do to plan effectively, to come up with alternatives, but when we veer into that worrying, anxious, and fearful state, that's when our power weakens, when our energetic immune system and physical immune system lowers. And if you notice people who exist in a state of fear, it's very difficult to break out of that state of fear. It is a mindset. It's absolutely a mindset that is normal in our world. We like to be in a state of fear, apparently. Otherwise, I don't know why all those horror movies are out. I don't understand that at all. I recommend an experiment. Take one day and watch about 2 hours of network TV, including news. Before this exercise, I want you to write down your mood. And then after this exercise, I want you to observe and examine and write down your mood. I guarantee that you will be in a different state. It's important to see what surrounds us that invokes fear. It's important to see that media, and especially TV news, invoke a sense of fear. They don't really care about your sense of stress. This sense of stress will put you in a state of being imbalanced. And only when you're in a state of not being balanced do you need something else to lean onto. And oh look, there's some products you can buy. Oh look, there's a TV show you can watch. Oh look, there's all these things you can procure, all these things that you can consume to take away that state. But we all know that it doesn't work that way. We have to address our own fear and what truly makes us scared. Only when we look at these things openly and honestly with ourselves can we begin to see that it's really just fear and that it doesn't exist unless we fuel it with this power and this focus. We're scared of parts of ourselves. We're scared of the outside world. We're scared of each other. This is where stress comes from. Things are breaking, things are falling apart, people are falling apart. Fear is the fuel behind this. I want you to move from a state of fear into a state of love. It's as simple as that. Fear is useless to you because it doesn't change reality. All it does is it brings you to a lower level of vibration. It exposes you to more things that will make you more scared, and this will just continue on a loop. The news media, corporations, they are banking on your fear, on your anxiety, and on your worry. But we have to shift that to being focus, intention. And focus and intention is what will bring you out of states of fear. Try to identify what your fears are, what they truly are. Be honest with yourself. Steer clear of anything that fuels this fear. Take care of yourself. If something somebody says or something you read makes you feel scared, sit back, pause, examine it. Always ask yourself, does this fear serve me? The answer, I guarantee you, will always be no. Is it natural to feel fear right now? Absolutely. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm sending you so much love. Remember, we are not each other's enemies. Fear is the enemy. Take care.